So my name is Lynna Sutherland. I'm a homeschool mom to 7. You can find me online at lots of places at the same place as my Periscope handle, homeschoolingwithouttrainingwheels.com, HSWO, trainingwheels.com, and same place on Instagram. So maybe we'll talk about long division another time, but today I want to talk about fractions. And yes, fractions are division, right? So it's all related. Although I will say, with everything in math, it's all interrelated. You can talk about any math concept and go off on a rabbit trail and hit pretty much any other math concept you want to. But that's a scope for another day. So I'm sure that you're aware of lots of resources that you can use to teach fractions, like, just use a calculator for long division, sure. So, you know, there are books about fractions, like the Hershey's Milk Chocolate Fraction book. There are lots of hands-on manipulatives like the fraction circles and the fraction strips and things like that. So what I want to do is jump off the beaten path a little bit and talk about something that you might not have thought of to use with fractions, and that is skip counting. Now, skip counting is the way that I teach my children about multiplication in general. And when they're little, I do skip counting songs with them, not just when they're little, but starting when they're little. One of our favorites is called the Skip Count Kid. It's a CD. Sometimes it's available on Amazon, but you can also buy it right from their website. I don't remember the name of the website right offhand, but if you just like Google Skip Count Kid, and they've got songs for skip counting all the way through 10, I think. I like skip counting because you are kind of memorizing. Okay, good. Classical Conversations does that. You are memorizing, but what you're doing is you're memorizing the concept of what multiplication is, right? So like if you're counting by eights, yes, you're memorizing the counting by eights numbers, but what you're doing is you're really understanding what it means to multiply 8 by 2, 3, 4, okay? So first tip is do some skip counting with your kids, either just counting, skip counting, or learning a song to skip count, or get like a hundreds chart and make, you know, color in the patterns of skip counting. And then the second thing that you can try is, we got at the homeschool convention in our area last July, or June rather, we got these really cool little bracelets, and they're just like your, you know, like your Livestrong bracelet or something, but they have skip counting on them. So like this is count by sevens. So if you go around the bracelet, 14, 21, 28, 35, right? So all of the skip counting numbers are there. And you might be thinking, okay, right, I got it, skip counting, I understand why with fractions. Okay, well, skip counting comes in all over the place with fractions. So maybe you have a fraction that you need to reduce. And so you need to figure out if there's something that both the numerator and denominator can be divided by. Or maybe you need to add two fractions, like 1/4 plus 1/6, and the denominators are not the same, so you're going to need to find the least common multiple. So you need to find something, you know, that both the 4 and the 6 can, you might say multiply to, but I say to my kids, you know, if you count by 4s and you count by 6s, what can you get to with both of those numbers? So one way to do that, you know, would be to take a couple of these skip counting bracelets. So let's see, we're going to do 4 and we're going to do 10, right? So here's our count by 10. And for 10, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, and you've got, you know, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Oh, look, they both have 20 in them, okay? And once you've discovered that, you've also discovered what to multiply, right? So to multiply to get 20, if you're starting with 10, you go 1, 2, you've multiplied it twice. You're going to have to also multiply your numerator twice. And then the same thing with the 4. To get 20, you're going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times of 4 in order to get 20. So then you also need to multiply whatever your numerator was of like the 1/4. You're going to need to multiply that by 4 or by 5 as well to get your numerator. Okay. Now the only thing that's a drawback about these is that, for example, as you can see visually, the spacing is different, right? So if you were to hold them up together, you're not actually getting, you know, on the count by 4 bracelet, the space between each number is 4. And on the count by 10 bracelet, the space between each number is 10. And so sometimes the kids have trouble, like they look 4 and 10, that doesn't match, 8 and 20, that doesn't match, 12 and 30, oh no, nothing matches, nothing matches. And they don't, you know, maybe have the visual or mental understanding to say, well, you know, 20 is on both of them even though they don't come at the same place. So here's another idea to do basically the same thing, and you can do this. You might be able to do it for free depending on how many of these you have around the house, or you might just be able to go to Walmart and buy a handful. I'm guessing they're probably about $1 a piece. But if you buy measuring tape that has centimeters on it, centimeters just because it takes up less space than inches, then you can actually do a skip counting activity with your kids, right? So you just say, like on this one, we're going to count by sixes. So you get a Sharpie or something and you mark off, 6, 12, right? 18, 24, 30. You mark off all the count by 6 numbers. And you would want to do that with every number, probably up to 10 or up to 12, depending on, how many you want to cover. And then here's another one. This one looks different, right? This one is, the numbers are this way instead, but I'm counting by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Now, even though these are 2 different measuring tapes, they're, the spacing is going to be the same because they're centimeters, and that's a universal measure, right? So you don't have to necessarily have all identical measuring tapes. But the great thing about using a measuring tape, it takes up more space than the bracelets, but look at this. So if you put them side by side, then you should be able to figure out what the least common multiple is of both numbers, right? So like 5 and 6, that doesn't match. 10, 12, no. 15, nope. 18, 20, nope. 24, 25, that was close but not quite. And then there you have it, 30. They both have 30. And not only do they both have it, but they're going to line up if you're using measuring tape. Sorry, I'm covering my face, but I figured you'd rather see the measuring tape than my face. And so then if you did this with, with all of your numbers between 2, probably, and 10 or maybe 12, depending on how many you need, then they can see. And this isn't just, it's not just a formula. It's not just multiply this one by something and multiply this one by something, and this is the rule and this is how you do it. They're actually seeing, okay, if I'm going to break things into groups of 5 and groups of 6, where can they both, what number can be broken into both groups? So, okay, so that is just a test taste of some of the ideas that I have for you about fractions. I'm also working on, who has this experience? You have more ideas in your mind about teaching than you can actually make into something or develop in a real way to have the kids use it hands-on in the classroom or the homeschool. So I have all these ideas in my head, all these things that I would love to materialize for my kids so that we can use them in the homeschool. And it's that way with blogging too. I have all these things that I'd love to share with my blog readers, and I just can't find the time to make it all up. But what I'm working on right now is a bunch of different fraction activities and printables. So if you're not already a follower over at Homeschooling Without Training Wheels, you're definitely going to want to do that. Go over there now. You might as well enter the drawing for the audiobooks while you're over there, and you can actually get points in the entry for being a subscriber, so do that. And lots more fraction ideas coming your way. And I might scope next week about a few more that are not printable type things, but they're more just hands-on ideas and things you can do. So thank you all for joining me. Definitely, if you're not a member of homeschoolscopes.tv, go over there and check it out, or search for Homeschool Scopes on Facebook. Great to see you all, and I will be catching up more with you all on Periscope and Facebook Live in the coming days. Thank you very much.